with no traffic. It's as quick as a 15-minute ride from Rivera's parents' house in the Bronx here to Citi Field. And TJ took that ride this afternoon to come here to Citi Field for this National League wild card game. It's a game that TJ told us yesterday is bigger than any he's played in his life. Erasmus Hall was amongst the city's best, and Lamberg had found the player that fit perfectly into his system, the system he patterned after Myers. As far as head coaches go, you can't find two more different than Rex Ryan and Todd Bowles. The former Jets coach has his new team in town, and he really wants you to believe that this is just another game. For kids here today, it's obvious. An afternoon spent playing baseball with some of the sport's best players, reason enough that they'll never forget this day. Legends out here, Molly. 1,300 trees being planted in Van Cortlandt Park today, and getting a little help from not only a great landscaper, a great basketball player, and pretty funny guy having some levity to the afternoon is Larry Johnson. Larry, talk about what you guys are doing here today. It's not just Lucy in the sky with diamonds, it's also rain in the sky, and Darryl Green's going to tell us all about it.
Yeah, we're going to continue to be under the gun of some wet weather out there.
Hey, Darryl, take this sad song about the weather and make it better, please.
See what happened when McCartney comes to town?
Everybody's
got Beatles in the head. That's right.
Today, Daniel Jacobs seems to have it all. A world champion in the ring, he trains for his next bout this August here in the borough he calls home. Outside of the ring, he works just as hard to make sure everyone he meets has a smile on their face almost as big as the one Jacobs always seems to have on his.
This is something that I've always wanted, not just to be a champion, a boxing world champion, but to be a people's champion.
To feel how each day is a victory for Jacobs now, you need to know just how close to defeat he was a little more than 4 years ago.
He came to the hospital. He was partially paralyzed. He had a tumor essentially arising from the bone that was severely compressing the spinal cord.
Jacobs' passion for boxing started here at the Howard Houses in Brownsville. A chance to get back at the neighborhood bully. Jacobs, then 14 years old, decided to be a better idea to stand up to him inside a boxing ring than in the school cafeteria.
The rest is history. Beat up the kid. He never returned to the gym, and I found, love for the sport. I knew I had some talent because first 6 months into boxing, I won my first national championship.
He won New York's Golden Gloves 4 times.
I started to travel the world. I started to see so many different things in so many different places. Being from Brownsville, I never had a chance to really see outside of my neighborhood. So boxing was my savior.
Then nicknamed the Golden Child, Jacobs won his first 20 pro fights, but was still just a young man.
22, 23 years old, and in and out of clubs, not really taking my boxing career that serious because I was gifted, right? When you're gifted, you don't have to go the extra mile.
His first loss as a pro came in July of 2010. Jacobs fought twice more, both victories, before he started feeling a growing weakness throughout his body.
We flew over on the USO tour to Iraq, and that's when I really started to feel weak in my legs.
Within 2 months, Jacobs couldn't walk. Doctors at New York Presbyterian had to work quickly. Diagnosed with osteosarcoma, a cancerous tumor attached to Jacobs' spinal cord was growing rapidly.
An urgent operation to take the pressure off the spinal cord.
It was a somewhat new procedure using a GPS system that allowed doctors, led by Dr. Roger Hartle, to accurately perform surgery without opening up the entire spine.
I remember being in the hospital and having nights where I used to cry. I didn't think it would be possible for me to be able to perform again because at the point where I was paralyzed was probably my worst state ever. I couldn't see it because physically I couldn't even move my legs. I watched a lot of movies and I always see these cases where the doctors always say, you can't do this and you can't do that, and they always prove the doctor wrong. So I started to look at it in that way, in that manner.
Days after the surgery, Jacobs was walking. Physical therapy started 6 weeks later. 3 months after surgery, Jacobs was cleared for athletic activities.
Once I told myself I was going to be able to do it, that's when I went full throttle.
18 months after surgery, Jacobs fought again in Brooklyn's Barclays Center. a first-round knockout win, the comeback has been the stuff of Hollywood movies. 7 fights, 7 knockout victories. In August of 2014, Jacobs won the WBA middleweight championship.
Me just being able to get back into the ring was something that I wanted to do, which was far-fetched at one point. So for me to become a champion and do it in the manner in which I've done it, I mean, 7 knockouts since I've been back, you know, it's unheard of.
As Jacobs' story spread, his profile grew, but he's determined to do good first and foremost by his community.
I'm still in Brownsville to show these people and to show my people, you know, I'm here. I haven't made it until I've done some good in my community.
Handing out food and gifts, Jacobs returned to this Brownsville apartment building days after we went with him to give more.
These are my Brownsville community. I connect with these people.
Among the boxing community, Jacobs is a star. Meeting with former fighters from the city, he's the guy everyone wants a picture with.
I'm proud of my story. I've done it. I'm never going to get tired of telling it because there's always going to be someone who could be inspired by my story.
For News 12 Overtime, I'm Dan Serafin. A championship. A celebration in Brooklyn. For Michael Ramsey, it's a long way both geographically and physically from where he was 4 years ago. Growing up in sunny Orange County, California, Ramsey has no problem saying things were easy.
It wasn't real.
Already excelling on the soccer field, Ramsey was a goalkeeper with a Division I college career well within reach. But on November 19th, 2011, everything changed.
I was running in the dark with my friends, and I didn't see a high-waisted chain that was there, and ended up hitting the chain, and I hit my head on a curb that was on the left side of my body. I was kind of in and out of consciousness at this point. They wheeled me into the ambulance, and then I remember them closing the doors, and I woke up 8 days later.
Those 8 days spent in an induced hypothermic coma.
They thought that I was going to be paralyzed on the right side of my body. They didn't think I was ever going to be able to speak again or swallow or really be a normal human being ever again.
He wasn't really responding very much to command, so it was clear that something was going on.
But quickly, Ramsey surprised his doctors.
The moment that my surgeon came in to talk to me, he told me, you're a miracle. I've never seen anything like this.
Without much of the left side of his skull, which was removed to make room for his swollen brain, Ramsey continued making dramatic progress. After 2 weeks of rehab, he was discharged. Almost a month after that, Ramsey returned to the hospital for surgery to reattach that part of his skull. His final surgery, he thought.
I thought I was at the finishing line at that point. Everybody thought I was. Everybody was celebrating. The nurses were celebrating. Everybody was happy that it was some, miracle. 10 hours after that surgery on January 5th, I had a massive hemorrhage right in my speech center. So that really set me back to before. I was worse than I was waking up, like by far.
This time, Ramsey was paralyzed.
And I woke up the next day and I didn't know what happened.
5 brain surgeries in the span of 8 weeks. Doctors stabilized Ramsey, but once again, the prognosis wasn't good. Suffering from aphasia, Ramsey could understand what people said to him and use his brain to think of a response, but he couldn't speak, at least not in English.
Funny thing was that I could speak Spanish correctly. I was taking Spanish class and I couldn't speak my primary language, but I guess secondary language is in some different part of your brain. Continuing
his soccer career seemed like a pipe dream.
I'm not somebody to allow somebody to set my own standards.
It took 6 months of speech therapy for Ramsey to get back his full vocabulary. Next was getting back on the field. That took much longer. In July of 2012, 9 months after his initial fall, Ramsey started no-contact soccer drills. A month later, he was cleared by doctors for contact, but he was just not ready for it. Ramsey never thought about quitting, but says he didn't think he'd be good enough to play at a high level anymore.
And I was terrified to get back into the cold.
Wearing a specially designed helmet, Ramsey's club team saved a spot for his return, but it took months for him to get comfortable on the field.
Do you really want to keep doing this? And do you really want to keep battling with yourself? And like, is it worth it? And then I thought, you know, it is worth it. And so I kind of just stopped thinking, and I went out there and started playing.
By the fall of 2012, Ramsey was back on track. LIU Brooklyn was in contact, interested in bringing him across the country to play soccer, and that idea intrigued him. Over the next year, he got back his prior form, and on Halloween of 2013, nearly 2 years after his initial fall, he committed to LIU Brooklyn, accepting a scholarship.
Michael never stops in terms of his own effort. You know, he's the best example of a guy that will give everything for his team and for himself to improve.
After his college soccer career ends, it's not surprising how Ramsey plans to make a living.
I want to be a neurosurgeon, actually. After I had that hemorrhage, I just felt like I had this calling, you know, to be a neurosurgeon. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Ramsey says because of his own past, he wants to help kids who face similarly long odds, showing them that miracles happen.
A kid can have 30 needles in him and, you know, half a head, and he can come back and look normal. And so it's hard to picture. And so I kind of, you know, paint that picture for them and say, like, you know, this is what I was and this is what I am now. Like, it's possible to be okay.
It's even possible to become a champion. For News 12 Overtime, I'm Dan Serafin.
That's when his resiliency was put to the test. Our Dan Serafin shares with us the story of Simone's will to play.
Simone Burgos in his element, playing backyard wiffle ball. Perhaps nothing for a teenage boy could be more normal. But for Simone, the ability to play is thanks to his ability to persevere. The Norwood section of the Bronx was where Simone first found baseball.
It was a long time ago, so I remember the field we went to and like the team I was on and stuff. I was on the Rangers. That was the first team, I think.
At 5 years old, Simone played Little League in Mosholu, a second baseman.
As we got older, I guess, baseball just stuck with us.
By age 12, Simone was playing year-round. His older brother Camilo next to him on the diamond at first base.
They sort of grew up in a milieu where there was sports around and activities and kids.
But during the winter of 2013, Simone and his family were thrown a curveball. Chronic knee pain warranted a checkup.
I thought it was just something with baseball, so I went to the doctor. He said just put like a knee brace on it, and like if it doesn't get better, call me back. So we did, and he sent me to orthopedist, I think, and they took an X-ray, and then they saw the tumor.
Simone began treatment for cancer the next day. An amputation would be necessary, putting his baseball days in jeopardy.
But the surgery that they told me about, they said I couldn't run a lot and stuff. So I was thinking like what else I could do. I could like maybe pitch or stuff, so I could still play baseball. But then that's why they told me about the surgery, so I could still run and play baseball and stuff.
A rare procedure called a rotation plasty. Simone's upper leg would be amputated, his lower leg rotated 180 degrees and reattached. With a prosthetic, the ankle joint becomes the knee joint, giving Simone the ability to stay active and keep playing baseball.
A lot of parents don't want to do it aesthetically. It's not as nice, but it gives the most mobility.
Done in May of 2013, Simone quickly began exceeding expectations.
5 days later, he, literally came out of the hospital on crutches. When they wanted to wheel him out, put him in an ambulance to take him home, and he was like, no way. When he got his prosthetic leg, the first one in October, the minute they put it on, he walked.
We gave him a bat and said, when you get better, this is what you're going to use.
A few months later, Simone was already working to get back on the diamond at the Highlander Training Academy in the Bronx.
We didn't have any prior experience with dealing with anyone in that situation, but we said, hey, listen, we're just going to just do what you can do, and let's just think about it later. And I think just having that where no one really, after a while, you don't even know. He's just doing everything else, and he just, and it took care of itself.
Training was a step-by-step process. Simone had to get back the strength to walk, to run. There were bumps in the road.
The running part, getting my muscles stronger to be able to run faster.
Every once in a while, he may have had some tough days. I mean, we all do. But but he was more than willing to take the challenge on, and he really wanted to embrace it.
Progress came slowly, but Simone was getting stronger. While he trained here in Pelham Bay, another cancer diagnosis in the family. This time, his mother. Like Simone, she began treatment immediately, and she continued to follow his lead.
Simon's my hero, and that's why I've done so well, because I was like, if he could do it, then I can do it.
By March of this year, Bridget was cancer-free, and Simone was back on the diamond, a first baseman now.
He's on the field, and we forgot he had one leg because he was just doing everything that, you know, all the other kids were doing. Who else could you look for? I mean, you don't have to look any further, but right there, of how to handle adversity and go through obstacles, and that's what he does.
To Simone, this was simply what was necessary to continue doing what he loved to do.
Good, Roy. Nice. Kobe, you and Jeter go around twice? Yeah? Okay. Go to free throws. Go to free throws. The ball should rotate 2.5 times before it hits the rim. Right, Trav? 2.5 times? You don't like shooting with the seams. You told me that. You told me that. As long as you're 80%, no one's gonna complain.
We don't take no days off.
Yep. So just alternate, right, left, right, left. So let's go through 44. Let's get a couple of reps through it. What we're doing is passing, and then I'm just taking the defense away from me. There it is. Hit Timmy. Just hit. Oh, come on, fellas. Let's catch the ball.
We're here Monday through Friday.
I got screened. Go through, and now I'm chasing you. I'm over the top. This is where the ball has to go quickly to the corner. Good, good. Go, G. Too slow, too slow. You passed and didn't do anything. Come on.
Even on Sundays.
Looking at LaSalle's breakdown, there's no magic. Okay. So again, so a simple play that we have the ball, should be able to score, at least take a shot, turns into a foul on their part. So guys, come here real quick while we're fresh. One of the things that Morris likes to do, he's gonna come off this double screen. They actually call it double. As he comes up here, we are jumping him. All right, we're gonna blitz this dribble handoff. Good. We're gonna yell, if you hear shot, close out on the guy, close out on him. Good, good, good. All right, when you wanna take the offensive foul, right, you wanna make sure that he's hitting you right in the chest, and as you fall, oh, we're making noise, but we don't stay down. Up, 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 up. Yeah, up, 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 up. Conditioning, mental lapses, this is all part of the game, but you know, for the first game, not all of that is choreographed.
He goes to skills where we get a one-on-one. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11.
Let's have a great season, guys. Go, Kobe. Jorge, orange! There it is, there it is! Attack, attack! No paint, no paint! Don't gamble, Timmy! What was that, George? Please give it up to Kobe. Give it up to Kobe. Get in the paint, Shatik, get in the paint. Switch, 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 Jorge! Motion, motion! Take the charge, X. You cannot call the same play 3 times in a row and don't expect them to read it. Timmy, you bumped him with the body, it's a foul. Stop complaining. I'm looking at your faces and everybody's paying attention to the man and the ball is just going straight down every time. You're not gonna rebound, you're not gonna play! We're like predictable, we need a spark. Okay, thank you. Let's just go for a quick score, all right? Let's go for a 3 right away.
Our coach always tell me, just let the game come to you.
Use it, use it! It's in, it's in. Let's go. Red, come here. Okay, do not give them the middle. Corner! Take the corner, Jorge! There it is, take the corner! That's good. What we want to stress this season is you can miss 4 shots, you can miss 5 shots, but the game is not over until the final buzzer. That's what you do when you miss free throws. What do you do when you miss free throws? You bang a 3. You bang a 3. Great job. Some games you need to win ugly, and other games everything will work. I think we played beyond hard, right? We played actually Fannie Lou basketball at the end. Great job, fellas. Bring it in.
Let's go, y'all. Hands on 3, count on 6. 1, 2, 3. Hands on 6 together.
All right, day off tomorrow, fellas. I'll see everybody Sunday at 10 o'clock.